This little guy thinks he's so funny. He thinks he's hilarious.
Ah.
Yeah? Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, let me get you the link, and 10 minutes later. One eternity later. Come here, child. Come here. Say hello to Auntie Pal.
Hi, Lucius.
Oh.
Hi, Lucius.
Hello.
It's Auntie Pal.
Hi.
Can you say Auntie?
Can you say Auntie?
Oh!
Yay! Hooray!
He called me Auntie.
Yeah, he did. He did. He's a good boy. He's elbowing me in the gut.
Oh,
He's a decent
Sharp.
boy. He's an okay boy. Oh, no, honey.
Sharp baby elbows.
Here, play with this. This is Dada's. Okay,
Oh.
give to Dada. Give to Dada, honey. There you go. So the makeup and everything, I actually was doing that in the 10 minutes between.
I got myself a.
Huh?
I got myself a cup of almond milk.
Okay. Yeah. So this is because we're doing Salvation.
Mm.
Can you take that to Dada, please? Thank you.
Aww.
Yeah, little mean to trick him, but you know. Okay. All right. I don't think we've done this because there was no like Control F. So I think we just finished we finished chapter 4 and now we're like starting on the chapter 5 Spork.
Alrighty.
So let's see. Sykes says she couldn't, she's going to be gaming during this, but I might send her the link anyway. Let's see. I'm just going to say, sup, I know you said that you're gaming and then you're going out, but if you feel like popping in, I am streaming on Trent right now. Period. If not, no worries. Okay. All right, let me get the screen share up. Yeah, share tab audio, sure, why not? Okay.
Okay.
Look at that cute little avatar. That's adorable.
Yeah.
It's just Yosemite's avatar that Mervin, like, she would take the avatar of whoever she was sporking so that you could tell who she was sporking. But anyway, okay. She says, I'm going to try and spork this. I may have to make cuts, though. Yeah, she did. The thing is I actually reconstituted as much as I could so that we can spork it later.
Mm-hmm.
This chapter and the next are exceptionally painful. Oh, yeah, I need to tell everybody. So you know her character, or not her character, but you know how she role plays as Agent Sands from Once Upon a Time in Mexico? Mm-hmm. Guess who just watched Once Upon a Time in Mexico this very week? Guess who's going to be calling out every single instance of Sands doesn't talk like that? Actually, Sands wouldn't say that. It's me. Yes. I will. Okay. Let's continue. Let's see. I seriously cannot stand this person. I can't stand the Sue. I can't stand the Fic. I can't stand the other. Okay.
Well, maybe stop reading. Okay, I know that we're sporking Eden, but like...
We're sporking Eden because it was recommended to me. It was shoved up my nose, and I read it, and I was like, this is a monstrosity. I hate it. And then we decided to spork it.
Yeah, it's like, I cannot emphasize enough. I know I've said this multiple times. Like, Mervin was lying in wait for this like a crocodile.
Yeah, and the thing is that, yeah, I do spork things that I genuinely dislike. But it's for fun. It's like, this is really silly. The way this person wrote, and it's like if the author were to come into the comment section and say, hey, that actually really hurt my feelings, I think I'd handle it with a little bit more grace than Mervin does.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little tiny bit, because I'm not a graceful person, but I don't know.
Also,
I don't like. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Also, like, Eden was made a long time ago, and it's like the author has almost certainly had plenty of time and opportunity to improve since they wrote that. So
She was like 19 when she wrote it. She would be I think she'd be like maybe a year or two either older or younger than us.
oh yeah, the kind of
Yeah.
fanfiction I wrote when I was 19 was shit.
Yeah, the stuff I wrote when I was 19 also, but the thing is Gethsemane, this was also written around the same time as Eden. It was written a few years earlier, in fact. But it's like she wasn't claiming that it was like, no one was like, oh my god, this is the best fanfic ever. Maybe people in her comment section were, because they wanted to, talk her up and make her feel confident, but like nobody gave this to Mervin and said, oh my god, this is my favorite fanfic of all time, you have to read it. And then she reads it and says, this is terrible. It wasn't that. It was like, ooh, it's a Sweeney Todd movie fic. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, it's OC canon. Sorry, I need to watch the answer briefly.
Okay.
Yeah, and also you didn't go into it because, like, you also didn't go into Eden because you really, really hate Lumione and want to rip it to pieces.
Are you kidding? That's my favorite ship.
Yeah, exactly. But Mervin hates OC canon. She absolutely hates it.
But she writes it. She does.
Okay, she's a hypocrite, but...
So anyway, the streets of London were always absolutely bustling, well, except late at night when there's absolutely no chance a young lady alone can be assaulted and attacked and then miraculously rescued by her lust object. Well, okay, so I will say that, it's in discontinuity, but I don't know. Out of context to the rest of the Spork, this line would be okay.
Yeah, but like, okay, sometimes fiction, coincidences happen. It's in high
No, okay, but what she's saying is, like, last night the streets of London were completely silent. Nobody ever goes out at night. And today the streets of London were always absolutely bustling.
Whoops.
Like, that's something I feel like a beta should have caught. But
yeah,
again, I don't think she was writing this for necessarily mass consumption. She was probably writing it for family and friends. Or maybe not family, but she's probably just writing it for herself and her friends to enjoy.
Yeah.
So, okay. And one could get separated from one's group quite easily, which means she's gonna... No, she's a young woman in Victorian London. She doesn't want to get separated from who she's with, so yeah, she's going to stick close to them.
In fact, next line.
I was cautious to stay as close to Mrs. Lovett and Mrs. Todd.
Oh.
Okay. That a beta should have caught that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Sweetie's wife to show up so quickly.
Spoiler alert. As I could, as we strolled through the busy streets. See, told you, and I honestly predicted with that lead. But she says...
No, yeah.
She says as close to both of these people. She didn't say she's clinging to Sweeney Todd. She said she's staying as close to her group as possible.
Also, literally anyone could predict that at the sentence, it was really busy and one could easily get separated from the group, is going to be followed by, So I tried my best to stay close to my group and not get lost.
True.
I mean, those sentences just go together.
True. As we paused at a corner, my hand brushed his, and I quickly withdrew it, heat rising to my cheeks. Yeah, okay. Contrived cliche and Hey, she's an amateur writer. Give her a fucking break.
Yeah.
Her hand brushed his, and she withdrew it, blushing. Like, yeah, maybe she took that out of a Victorian romance novel. Maybe she took it out of 100, but it works.
Yeah, and like nothing... it's like, okay. Also, anytime that Mervin says that, like, this is boring, I need to emphasize this is a fic that she went into expecting to hate it, because she does not like this kind of fan fiction. When she says that it's boring, no, but I don't fucking care. You're not the audience.
He glanced at me, but said nothing. I'm going to cling to dull hope and assume he's just ignoring her, but I think we all know exactly what he's glancing at her because, hey, your hand just touched mine and that's unexpected contact. And he said nothing because he's being polite about unexpected contact from a young lady that was accidental and he's not trying to ruin her reputation.
Right. It's like, okay, if he'd said something, that would have been super fucking awkward, wouldn't it?
Right?
1 sec, I'm getting a spoon.
Get a spork. No, apparently my connection is unstable. Connection is fairly good. Try plugging in your router or moving closer to it. No, leave me alone about my router.
Yeah, I don't have any sparks, but I do have a chopstick.
Which chopstick is the spoon? No, we'll get to that in One West.
All right.
Okay. We walked slightly further until Mr. Todd stopped suddenly, his hand on the handle of his razor on his belt. Hey, it's not just in his belt, it's in his razor holster. He's a gunman of the Old West with that thing. Okay. Well, I didn't pay enough attention to the movie, but I'm going to assume Mervin's correct for this. And she's not saying anything particularly nasty right now, so, I'll pick
up. And honestly, this seems like a really minor mistake to make. Like,
we spork things line for line. I'm going to let it go.
Okay.
His eyes coldly focused on an older man with long, stringy hair across the menu, who I recognized it to be Judge Turpin's assistant, Beetle Bamford. And why would he be so hateful towards the Beetle? Actually, Sweeney was never told that Turpin raped his wife. He was never told how the Beetle was involved. So why on earth is he so determined to get revenge like this? Yeah, that was an oversight. That was like, I just watched the movie. I thought it was super great. I wrote a fanfic about it, and I forgot to add in these details from the movie.
Yeah.
Amateur mistake. NEWB mistake. Noob mistake. Mm-hmm. Not NOOB. Or, not N00B.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Leave him out of this. Now he doesn't even... No, the author literally just... Okay, I know I say all the time, it's not what you meant, it's what you said. But... she went into this expecting to hate it. So, no cookie for you. As much as I loathe the man myself, you have no reason to loathe anybody. Nobody did jack shit to you. She thinks that Turpin took her mommy away.
Mm-hmm.
But she has no reason to hate him or his assistant. Okay. I don't know. I talk to my mother maybe 3 times a year, so okay. Mm-hmm. I placed my hand on his wrist to calm him. Not here, I whispered. Mrs. Lovett, am I even here? Yeah, I mean...
presumably she's standing on the side where she can't see the razor. Duh.
Well, Mrs. Lovett was the one who, in the movie, was usually tempering Sweeney's impulses. So basically, what Irvin's complaining about is that Victoria is taking Mrs. Lovett's role in the story. Like, it's basically the same problem as One West Covina, where, hey, where the hell did Heather and Hector and White Josh and all of the supporting cast go? Where did they go? Why aren't they in this fic? Anyway, he looked at me and removed his hand. Hey, that's uncalled for.
That's uncalled for.
I'm not reading that out loud. That's mean. Not that I'm not equally mean, but that's uncalled for. Out to the corner of my eye, I could see that Mrs. Lovett had upon her face a peculiar expression, but it had disappeared much too quickly for me to decipher. Let's see. Why should I sympathize with someone who is... She's not useless. She helps at the shop.
Yeah.
Obsessive. We beat that horse to death. She's not really rude. She's not unsympathetic. Maybe she's dramatic, but she's a very young woman. Well, okay, maybe in Victorian times she would have been considered a little bit older because she's in her 20s. But I mean, being dramatic is just how 23-year-olds are.
Yeah, and like, and I'm supposed to Mervyn, don't pretend that you were ever going to give this pairing a chance.
Also, Mrs. Lovett had on her face a peculiar expression and disappeared much too quickly. Why would Victoria... I know that it's jealousy. Why would Victoria interpret it as jealousy?
Right?
This woman basically raised Victoria since Victoria ran away from home. Why would Victoria think, oh no, my mother figure is jealous of me for scrolls up, placing my hand on... Well, okay, no, she touched or maybe it could be, well, she touched a gentleman's arm on purpose in front of people, and Mrs. Lovett is like, that's not very ladylike, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of things that the expression could have been, and
yeah.
Also, if it disappeared really quickly, it's like, well, okay. She didn't see it for very long.
Yeah, Sorry,
I can't, like, I struggle with reading people's expressions too.
Sometimes I make faces that are like here and gone, and you know me well enough, you can probably interpret them, but some people can't necessarily, and why do I have a bug bite here? See, I love summer, I love swimming, I love wearing small clothes and going out, but oh my gosh, the bugs. Which it's probably partially my own damn fault for eating so much sugar, because it makes me sweeter and it makes them attracted to me. But anyway, if this somehow got back to her, which I honestly hope it does not, is I don't want to be that close to her. Hey, you're not in junior high. Stop that.
Mervyn, what is wrong with you?
Also, it probably did somehow get back to her. Somebody probably said, hey, you know these really mean things people have been saying about you.
Right? And, like, if you say, like, you know, if this somehow gets back to her, I know she's going to react like this. Somebody's going to test that. You should know that.
Also, she'll use the Penny Arcade Jersey Girl argument.
I don't even know what that is.
The argument, yeah, I'm about to explain it.
Oh, thank you.
You're like, I don't know what that is in the middle of my sentence.
Sorry.
It's okay. So I'm gonna open the link, but it's basically this isn't for you. Like, this wasn't written with you in mind, so don't criticize it. It's a flawed argument, but you know. Said his new movie wasn't for critics. I didn't even know you could do that. It's not for critics anymore, which means we're free to do shit like this. I bet you'd love to criticize that, wouldn't you, you critics? But you can't. It's not for you. But she didn't write it for critics. She wrote it for, like, she didn't write it. She's not selling it. She's not saying, buy my book.
She's not out there saying this is the greatest romance of all time.
No, she's not. She's just, I wrote this fanfic, la-di-da. And people are giving her guff for it.
Also, like, you know, this is the exact same argument. Like, it's like the whole don't like, don't read. like that's also like sorry, let me get my words together here. You know how back in the autism stuff, you basically had to slap don't read on anything that involved slash.
No, because I always thought that was super. Like, you remember in high school, you would say, like, you'd write deal with it in the AN, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds super defensive.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I say don't read about my own stuff, because you can literally just stop reading whenever you want. It's free. It's free.
yeah, and like, yeah, it's like, okay, you're going into a genre that you know that you hate, and then complaining that you don't like what you find there.
I would do that for, like, if somebody said, okay, I know you don't normally like this genre, but this is a good book, or something, again, with a recommendation. Yeah. Or if I got an ARC copy of something that wasn't in a genre I normally read, but it's an ARC, and I want, like, and I just, like, have the screen reader on, and I'm pausing every so often to make comments, things like that.
Yeah, but in this situation, it's like Mervin saw a movie with Johnny Depp in it, realized that because it's a movie with Johnny Depp in it, some insert slut-shaming word is going to write a OC canon fanfic where her OC gets up with Sweeney Todd, and she needs to punish that bitch for daring to post that on the internet.
But you know what? I prefer that to, like, you know, there's roleplay solicitors online who are like, oh my God, I have this OC and I just have, like, the bestest idea for her. Can somebody please play Misty for me? I mean, play Johnny Depp for me, pretty please. Instead of, and then, so that on its own is fine, but then following it up with, no, you didn't write him right. And then, like, rage quitting or whatever, like, you didn't write this the way I wanted to, instead of just writing she's fucking writing a solo. This is grand. I have no problem with this.
Yes,
this is so much better. I think that if Mervin roleplayed, it was just with her sister, but, like, God, sometimes roleplay is a special kind of annoying. You just want people to write solos. Just somebody wrote a solo. I love that for her.
Yeah.
Also, Johnny Depp's Sweeney Todd is actually not the best Sweeney Todd I've ever seen. So I'm personally confused about, like, people wanting to ship with that portrayal. But then it is a lot more accessible than any of the Broadway or off-Broadway versions. Like, that's, again, it's something that's puzzling to me, but it's fine for other people because they're the ones writing it, and I don't have to read it if I don't want to. I'm reading this because I've been reading Mervin's Sporks pretty much, like, uncritically for the past, God, what year is it? 13 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then when I started sporking stuff myself, when I got really into it, I was like, you know, I'm a bit of a jerk. I wonder if I'm as much of a jerk as this, you know, person who's very, very harsh. And so I started rereading, actually, the Twilight. I potholed here from Twilight. Yeah. And her Twilight Spork does make a lot of really good points, but then I potholed to the Gethsemane fic because she mentioned that, like, Bella was as bad, or Stephanie Meyer was as bad as Gethsemane Butler. And then I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, so Gethsemane Butler does have a lot in common with somebody that I, like, don't. I'm sorry, that I don't like, that I have some personal, like, writing style differences with. But, like, objectively, there's not that much wrong with this.
Yeah.
So I got, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Here it is. Okay. All right, I'm gonna misuse my diabetic testing tool to get rid of this poison in this bug bite. Don't mind me.
Okay.
Okay, and it's not self-harm. I can do this. It's just not really what it's meant for.
Right.
Okay.
And so, like, Mervin knows that she's being unfair. That's why she's trying to preempt but it's not for you, you don't even like this genre argument, because she knows.
Like, it's not for critics. Well, you know what? Critics are going to access it. It's on the internet. But is one argument. But on the other hand, I can see how somebody who literally just wrote something for herself is going to be like, I didn't write this for you. I didn't write this to be criticized by you. I wrote this because I like it, and you're making me feel badly about myself and my writing for no reason. I don't even know you. Stop it.
Yeah, it's like, this is like, yeah, also, the etiquette for fan fiction is completely different to stuff for, like, professionally published work.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so let's say Obsessed Much got wind of my review or of our spork of her work, and she took great offense to it, and she said, you're being really unfair, like, and all of that, and she, like, wrote us a comment or an email or something saying, you're being really unfair about this. I really don't like what you're saying about me or my writing. And like, in that case, I wouldn't be like, well, you were just going to say it wasn't for me. Like, no. Like, she has the right to be offended by me not liking her, by me publicly not liking her work. But then there's also, like, there's so much, like, fan art that's been inspired by that. There's some dramatic readings of it. Like, it is actually a very popular fan fiction. And, like, I would probably ask her, how would you like to move forward? Like, would you like me to unpublish the would you like me to unpublish the sports we have, stop sporking going forward, or just like soften up a bit, and then right? I wouldn't be
like, hey, how can we accommodate you?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we have like 15 minutes left on the Gethsemane side of things, so at length we came to a large crowd gathered before a small stage, draped with rich and gaudy tapestries, with a signpost next to it reading, Pirelli's Miracle Elixir. Above the stage was another sign that read, Adolfo Pirelli, King of Barbers, Barber of Kings. Enter Toby, stage right. This reads like a script. Yeah, well, it also reads a hell of a lot better than I can do with descriptions, so pipe down.
Also, gee, an amateur writer sounding like a script? You don't fucking say!
Upon the stage, well, I didn't notice that, and I write scripts, and I didn't pick up on that. It did not register to me. But again, it's also a lot more, it's better and more evocative than what I can do, so I'm not going to give shit about it. Upon the stage, a small child, no older than 10, with thick blonde hair, bustled about, handing bottles of an unknown yellow liquid. Get your grossness out now, because that's exactly what it is. To several men standing before the stage. Try it, sir, cried the child. You shall have hair like mine if you try it. So, yep, they're selling piss of snake oil. Disgusting, but it gets called out. So, I know. It's really nasty. I'm sorry. It's in the libretto. In the movie. It's in everything. I'm sorry. Toby, my lines don't sound forced, do they? No? No.
I mean, he's doing this is a rehearsed performance.
He's talking the way kids talk in that era.
Yeah, and he he's doing an ad. This isn't like necessarily going to be the way he naturally speaks either. He is doing an ad live.
He took another bottle of the liquid and poured a few drops on the head of one of the balding gentlemen. Ew! Can't you feel it tingling, sir? Of course you can. Ew! Oh, now she's just copy-pasting the line she gave Mrs. Lovett to replace her song in Chapter 2. I would accuse her of having no... I mean, she's taking inspiration. She's taking inspiration of the original work into the transformative work.
Yeah.
Why is that bad?
Okay. Yeah, it's like... Yeah.
In the third, yes, you read that correctly, installment of this hellish beast. And yeah, we are going to read all three of them. Cope. She flat out admits she doesn't have any. Well, at least she's honest. But she's not writing this to be good at it. She's writing it because she's right. And she admits she doesn't have any. You know, that actually goes a long way. Somebody, this is their fic with, actually, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but have fun. I'm going to be a lot gentler on it. You know, even if I'm sporking it, even if I ended up not liking it, or if I'm discussing it with you, I'm going to be a lot gentler on it than somebody who acts like their fic is a masterpiece when we all know it's not. Like, I admit in the ANs of mine that, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This isn't how a courtroom scene goes, probably. Anybody who has any advice or wants to rewrite this chapter, pipe up, you know?
Yeah, and like, what was I going to say? It's like, oh no, she knows her own weaknesses. How scandalous. But
if she didn't know her own weaknesses, that would also be bad.
Yeah, exactly. And
to Mervin, it would be like, oh, well, she's just pretentious and she thinks she's a good writer. She doesn't recognize any of her flaws. And he was like, well, at least she's honest. But this is, you know, I disagree. I think Gethsemane is creative because she took an OC that she created, and put her in the situation which she created to fit her into this canon. Like, transformative works are creative by definition.
Yeah, exactly. And like, just because Mervin is intentionally reading everything about Victoria in the worst possible light, because, you know, that's how she just went into this with the expectation and intention of ripping apart whatever she found there. Look, sometimes people write completely self-indulgent fan fiction, and that's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. Stop being territorial over Johnny Depp.
I mean, I will still call out, hey, this is out of character. I will still call out, like, you know, hey, I don't think this would actually work. I don't think this is a thing. Like, I'll still call that out, but I'm not getting any of that from this. Victoria is behaving appropriately. She's behaving the way a woman in her situation would behave. And I mean, she's probably behaving a little bit better than a woman in her situation would be. She's the daughter of a prostitute. Like, she's not pulling up her skirt and offering him a free show. She's fine. For all the slut shaming Mervin's doing, Victoria's fine.
Yeah, like, yeah, but it's just so disingenuous to be like, how am I supposed to? Do you really expect me to sympathize with this character? It's like you hated this character before you even clicked on the fic, okay?
Yeah.
No, there is nothing on heaven or earth that could make you like this character.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next sentence.
Okay, you're right. I'm getting repetitive.
It's not that. We just have very little time for Gethsemane before we switch back to One West.
Mm.
He gave yet another bottle to a small group of gentlemen near the stage who smelt of it grimacing and began to put... Yeah, I'm sorry. This is canon. I'm sorry. I really wish the scene would just progress to what we all know is coming. This is so irritating. I think I'm worrying out already. No, I mean, I don't like it being drawn out because it's gross, but it's this is how it went in canon, so I can't actually play. Anyway, Presently, it
Like,
reached...
she also complains when it doesn't go like it does in canon. It's like, you changed this from canon, how dare you? You kept this from canon, how dare you?
Presently, it reached Mr. Todd, who smelt of it and wrinkled his nose in disgust. It's piss, he said, handing it to me, nicely skipping over Mrs. Lovett because she's unimportant to the overall... Well, yeah, that was Mrs. Lovett's line. But, I mean, I do think this might have been better if Mrs. Lovett had been kind of, like, written out after the whole, like, you know, after Victoria had turned 18 or something. Like, Mrs. Lovett's presence is kind of extraneous, and Victoria does take over a lot of what Mrs. Lovett does, but it could be worse. Hello, welcome, person. We're gonna...
Hi.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing this for a few more minutes, then we're gonna switch to One West. Let's see. Well, Gethsemane, I'm not gonna call her Victoria any longer. She's Gethsemane and oh, that's a mood. I'm not gonna accept that from you, Mervin, but that's a mood. Makes her moves on Sweeney and wheedles her way into his trousers. Mrs. Lovett keeps the beggar woman away. Frees up all of Gethsemane's time to... Okay, she wrote a self-insert, and then?
Yeah. It's like... Yeah.
At least she didn't write 5 thinly veiled self-inserts and claim they're all different people. I mean, what?
Yeah, and, like... The fact that Mervyn also writes Johnny Depp characters OOC and, like, they defer to her in her sporks and stuff. But nobody else gets to do that. That's why I'm like, why are you getting so territorial over Johnny Depp?
Yeah. Oh, you know, one of my friends has a character whose face claim is a very young Johnny Depp. Actually, I think around Sans era. Boy, would she hate that character. Oh, well, she can cope. It had the unmistakable rank odor of it, and I did nothing to disagree with him because it wasn't... No! She just didn't disagree. Fuck off. Mrs. Lovett agreed with him as well. It's good to mention her as we... No, fuck off. It must be, I said. Nothing could be mistaken for that, except... No! That's
Rude!
mean. He'd never say that. Okay, so... Oh, Sans, actually, we're not going to approach Sans, I think. I don't think, yeah, we're not going to approach Sans in this, but we will do that next. Okay, so...
Yeah.
Next, probably... I should have read ahead, but no. Okay, well... Let's see. So now she's scripting. Really, I have excellent hearing because although nobody really shouted it, I heard it anyway. So who dares? Oof. I'm sorry, Borelius Vaughn. My accents are terrible. Right, this scene is all about me showing off my talent as we came here to challenge Pirelli so I can get the attention of the judge. So I'll just step forward and, oh, no, you don't. I refuse to be shunted to the side. This is all about... No! 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 Okay, maybe she shouldn't have done that. Maybe she should have said, why, I'm the one who said it. But maybe she just didn't want him to get in trouble.
Yeah, like... Sweetie's going through such a rough time right now.
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Lovett flounders about in the background. I don't know what the fuck that looks like. Pirelli immediately lusts after Victoria. I'm going to take your word for it. I don't know what really happened. I just forgot our entire plan was for me to show up Pirelli. Don't do that, Victoria. Yeah, again, I don't know. She did say this in the fic, and no, a Victorian woman would not, I see what I did there, would not actually do that, and it was audacious as hell, but it furthers the plot. I don't really like it, but it's a choice that was made, I guess.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan of this decision, but, like, okay.
This part, I sympathize with the, excuse me? What? But this part, no.
No.
Shaking with rage is a little extreme, but the, sorry, what just happened? I don't like this. What just happened? I feel like is an appropriate response if you don't like.
Yeah, yeah. Because okay, sorry, you're shaking it in rage. You're too territorial about Johnny Depp, man.
Where is said husband? Where is said husband? Oh, there he is. Vow about a contest. And instead of 5 pounds against 4 razors, I'll put my reputation and for life on the line. Women equals currency after all. And I have to be a chauvinist so who can defend her honor and be all romantic and stuff because the author gets up on that sort of... Hey!
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Yeah, if you're writing solos, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're writing roleplay, there's nothing wrong with that as long as both admins agree to it.
Yeah, it's like, yes, it is self-indulgent. Cope?
Okay, let's pause here. Do you know what that crowd would do if Pirelli very loudly declared he was going to steal a man's wife? They'd... Okay, let's first of all not talk about lynching.
Yeah.
And second of all, okay, yeah, maybe that was out of character, or maybe that was like out of keeping with the times. That's a valid criticism, but you could just say, I don't think that would happen. All right, two more minutes on this. The contest is basically all about Victoria. I'm having the same reaction to this as you do to George saying that woman. She stands up on stage the whole time. Okay, well, I can only take your word for it. And Todd wins. That happened in canon, so, whatever. Crowd bursts into plaudits. Ooh, she can use it this way. No, you know what? She wants to use plaudits. She can use plaudits. I learned a word. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew you would win.
I actually like having weird period words in my period fic.
I love it. Yeah. I knew you'd win. I couldn't afford to allow you to be that pig's trophy. Okay. So it was planned. I actually did not get... I did not realize that the first 5 or 10 times I watched Sweeney Todd, any, the play, the movie, whatever. So this actually did teach me that it was planned that Mrs. Lovett took Sweeney there, knowing that there's this fraud in the crowd that, and that Sweeney could show him up as the best barber and then get a foothold for his business. It took this to make me realize that, and I'm grateful for it, but it could have been phrased... I know I'm fucking tone policing her to hell and back, but it could have been phrased better.
Yeah, frankly, I know that we still have a minute left, but I am just so done with this.
We have 0 minutes left, so we're done.
Yay! Let's move on.
Let's move on. Let me just copy paste this into our server. Let's see, CTRL plus F. There we go. It's caps lock time. No, the fuck it's not.
Oh.
All right, time for WordPress shenanigans.
WordPress shenanigans.
Shenanigans, bye or bye. Okay. Anyway, maybe not that shenanigan-y. Shenanigan-y! It's me! It's me!
Yes.
Yeah, the joke behind that is I taught my son, what does Lucius say? It's me! I would apologize, but I'm not sorry. Besides, she's never going to see this, and I'm still going to continue to read her sport. I genuinely like a lot of her sports. This one I just realized was a little bit unfair when we started, or before we started going over it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Greg just openly stared at Nathaniel by the time Nathaniel was finished describing his date. Was the man that blind?
Everyone is ragging on Nathaniel.
That's the same thing Kat said, first of all. But what?
Everyone's ragging on Nathaniel for this. But
for not realizing that Trent and Kat are obviously related.
Yeah, for not catching on that Kat is talking about Trent, but I feel like this is only obvious in the context of this is a work of fiction with a limited number of characters. It's a small world after all, but yeah. Most people wouldn't expect that. Okay, let's carry on.
I was going to say something.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were done, so I was going to say something, but okay. Most people wouldn't?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to...
Yeah.
Like...
to taunt him. I know something you don't know. I know something you don't know. Nyan, 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 nyan.
Well, I understand why Nathaniel doesn't want to have sex with her. So she talks a lot about her big brother, and none of what she said about him rang any bells to you? And Greg asked incredulously, ignoring Josh, who just looked confused again. I would too! Yeah, let's be fair. Let's see. Are you that blind, Nathaniel? And if he is...
Also,
no, hold on. I need to react to that.
Okay.
Okay. If Mervin can do it, so can I. Let's see. It's gonna be blurry as fuck, but... Okay, we're getting a new react in here. First of all, that's a super ableist question.
Also,
Also,
it's like, she has a big brother? Why didn't you suspect it's someone you already know?
no, he didn't know that prior to the date. Wait, what?
No, okay. No, I mean, one of the things he says is like, she talks a lot about her big brother. Yeah, lots of people who have big brothers talk about their family. Okay.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. None of it caught your attention at all?
No, because Nathaniel isn't the kind of paranoid person who assumes that there is a conspiracy against him, even if in this particular case there actually is.
He might be, actually.
Oh, okay.
He might be because of all the horrible shit he does in canon.
Mm.
I'm gonna let this go.
Okay.
Look, man, I was not my usual swap. But the thing is I'm more concerned with the fact that Kat, who was hired by Trent to date Nathaniel, was bread loafing about the fact that she's related to Trent, the guy who assaulted Nathaniel. That's
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm going to deliberately sabotage my cover. Oh my god, why didn't you notice I was deliberately sabotaging my cover? Why are you so stupid?
Oh my god, stop copying me! I was not my usual suave self during that date. I spent most of it saying the wrong thing and then cringing over it. So no, nothing she said sounded weird to me. Yeah, Greg, what are you talking about?
Thank you, Josh.
And like, I know that we're ragging on Josh for being quote unquote dumb because we both kind of disliked him after watching Canon, but Greg is Josh's best friend, and Nathaniel and Josh had kind of like they'd become, I think, buddies, gym bros, something. I don't know. Anyway, ignoring Josh, Nathaniel continued. So during dinner, I suggested we go to see a movie. Driving to the theaters, the last thing I do remember, but here's the confirmation email for the ticket I bought, a slasher thriller. According to the time it started, I would have taken my pill just a few minutes before. I remember Trent and Rebecca were there. They had champagne. Wait, you said driving to the theater was the last thing you remember. Oh, I gotta change that. Hold on. And now I get to use a shiny new macro that I've been dying to use. I didn't think the first time I would use it would be on myself.
I can believe that driving there is the last clear memory he has, and that everything is kind of fuzzy after that.
Okay, I'll add that. Yeah, I'll have to make that clearer in the rewrite. Everything after that is just gone. George says he drove me home and that I was draped all over Trent, but I don't know how much I can trust George. He said some pretty crazy shit this morning.
Yeah.
Josh took the phone from Nathaniel. Hey, cool. Greg, look, one of the lead actors looks like Trent. Hey, what's this NC-17? Okay, having Josh ask that last part was maybe a little much, but I'm going to keep it because it's funny. Greg looked over at the phone when Josh showed him the clips of the movie and what it was about. No, not clips. Not clips. Ticket. Not clips. Ticket.
Yeah. It's not like they have, like, previews of that kind of thing in the email. Hell, I'm surprised there was even a synopsis.
Maybe I'll indicate in the rewrite that Greg had decided to Google the movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or that Josh, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And what it was about, and shook his head at seeing the actor who looked exactly like Trent. God's in heaven, Nathaniel was dumb.
No, he was high.
Who's the most self-righteous person I have besides Lena?
Akuma?
Okay. That's why I wanted to know. Thank you. Honestly, you didn't believe George either when he said he drove you home and you were hanging all over Trent. That's not why he didn't believe him. You didn't hear the crazy shit he said.
Wait. Did the person at the ticket booth card them?
If so, it wasn't mentioned. Why?
Oh, just...
They're all in their 30s.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, just because, like... check that they're old enough to watch the movie, but you're right, if they're in their 30s.
They ordered the tickets online.
Oh, right, okay.
They're in their 30s. You can't pass for 30 if you're 17, I'm sorry.
Alright.
Look, one of the actors looks just like him, and still none of what Kat said about her brother clicks.
How are those two things connected? I swear, you are acting like you expected him to have read all of the narration and know everything the authors do.
I did in the side chat, not in the part I was able to capture for the blog, but I did say, hey, wouldn't it be funny if, but I can't remember to what degree, and I don't think it was this degree. So, anyway, he looked disgusted at his friend. I know Greg is judgmental, but this is going a little far. He couldn't believe this at all. He tossed Josh a look. And NC-17 means no one under 17 admitted. Let's see. I'm going to put in your thing.
I was mistaken for a minor until I was 29.
Shall I show you pictures of the cast?
It's okay.
No, but you said until you were 29. Again, they're 30.
Okay. Fair.
30 is older than 29. I just thought you should know. Sorry, I'm being a huge jerk. I'm actually really tempted to add that in. No,
Go ahead.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, at least if people see this, they will see we are equally everybody. We are also on the rotisserie. We are true
Yes.
rotisserie, and we are on the rotisserie.
Here, let me just roll over.
Okay. Basically, he took his date to a porno with a character who looked exactly like Trent, which, again, was not awkward for his sister. Why?
Yeah, like... Yeah, like I would think that would be evidence in favor of her not being Trent's sister. Because I'd expect a sister to, instead of being like, no, this is way too awkward, I'm sorry, I need to go.
But Nathaniel offered her an out and she didn't take it. She just smirked and cuddled into her chair.
Yikes.
So I'm pretty sure both the yikeses were before this moment. Whoops, not that one. That looked like yikes.
They're very similar.
They're very similar.
Yeah, there it
is. Yeah. Nathaniel blanched when Josh mentioned the actor, and again when Greg explained NC-17. Well, oh my God, no, I did shit. I didn't look into the movie. I thought it was just a regular movie. Fuck, oh God, Kat, she's never gonna want to see me again. I took her to a porno on our first date. fuck, shit, fuck, shit. No, I believe he drove me home. Oh, wait, okay. Well, no, I'll leave that in because this is no, I believe he drove me home, but there's no way I would have been within 10 feet of Trent willingly. Come on, you guys know that. Like, they do. Are you still with me?
Yeah, they do. I just don't have words.
It's okay. You know that. And look, forget about Kat's brother. It has nothing to do with this. It was just odd that she talked a lot about him a lot. But to be fair, I also talked about Rebecca. Yeah, the amount that Kat talked about her brother on her first date was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But that's like the only. Okay.
Yeah.
Forget about Kat's huh?
Yeah, but who's going to be like, wow, this chick sure is talking about her brother a lot. It's like she's trying to give me a hint that he's somebody I know. It's like nobody thinks that.
Also, if let's see.
Tee-hee, why are you so dumb? Also, you said he must be related to somebody I know, but it should be just he must be somebody I know.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, thanks. Forget about Kat's brother. Nathaniel has everything to do with this. Why can't you see that?
Because
I have no eyes, fuck Mook.
He doesn't see it because he's not off his rocker with paranoia.
For some reason. I feel
For
like
some
he
reason.
should be. No, you know what? I feel like maybe Kat could have been like testing, is he off his rocker with paranoia? But either way, that's dumb. So
Yeah.
I'll delete the no and I'll bold this. Motioning with his hands at how disgusted he was with his friend.
Why? Dude's just been like victimized.
I'll answer that in a second. I was reading the earlier sporks this week. I only got up to 7 though.
Oh.
But I am gonna. I love that you made that macro, by the way.
Which one?
The ICOOC division bat.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to find it right now. No, I feel like we... No. Hey. No. No. Oh, maybe we didn't... No, I don't think we would have used it in Eden. We would have had no reason to use it in Eden. Aw.
Aw.
The tinicius babycius.
Yeah.
He's a baby.
So small and so grumpy.
Oh,
There it is.
Yeah, it's preferable to now when he makes butt noises and slaps me in the face. And then I tell him, don't do that. Don't hit me. And he goes, and I'm like, don't do that in my face either, kid. Just don't. Anyway. He felt helpless and just wanted to shake.
I wonder how Nathaniel feels.
That's a good question. Poor Nathaniel?
Poor Nathaniel.
I'll do the older poor Nathaniel. I mean, I feel like the poor Nathaniel's... Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
He could see it plain as day. Why couldn't it? Because Nathaniel's not metagaming. So what else did George say? Or do I even want to know?
Wow. You're showing so much sympathy for your friend who just had a really fucked up time.
He cut his eyes at Nathaniel. George, everyone at the office knew that man adored Nathaniel. Oh. Greg doesn't work with Nathaniel. Greg doesn't work with Nathaniel. Greg has no reason to know this.
Even if he did, this is creepy as, like, this reaction is creepy as fuck.
Division bat, 1 sec. Okay, I'm going to ask you to elaborate.
Okay, basically, like, it's one thing when, like, it's one thing for somebody to be like, oh my gosh, how are you so oblivious to my feelings? And it's another to be, oh my gosh, how are you so oblivious to this other person's feelings? You should trust them completely. What's wrong with you?
Also, just because someone has feelings for you doesn't mean you should trust them.
Right?
One sec, I'm going to search for a react. I think you know what react I'm going for.
Is it the Joe from You?
Mm-hmm. It's the Joe Goldberg react.
There.
Why would Nathaniel suddenly not believe George? Okay, I guess I'll move that up. No, I won't. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me. There we go.
Yeah.
Nathaniel grimaced at Greg's question.
Yeah, because it's a terrible question.
And it's also out of character for Greg. Greg becomes a mouthpiece at some points during this fic in ways that really, like, it really bothered me at the time, but I had no way to articulate it. I asked George for a massage, and knowing I was tenser than usual, I took some Atarax to make things a bit easier. He thinks that after it kicked in, I asked him for more than that. It's like, I really don't want to deal with the stupidity right now. Go home.
Well,
Here's
hold up.
I take muscle relaxers before massages too. Otherwise, the massages are too painful because I'm too tense.
Okay, so what Greg just did here. His friend was like, hey, this person you know has unrequited feelings for me may have, like, taken advantage of me sexually, and he's like, why are you so stupid? Get out of my house.
Okay, hold on. Oops.
Same difference.
This isn't
You can
even.
come back when you can read the narration like a real, like, you know, like a not stupid person. Yes.
Okay, hold on. I have some things to add to that.
Okay. Yeah, when I said I wasn't, the words "my friend" were in Greg's mouth. Nathaniel being Greg's friend. So for Greg, it was like, hey, my friend is saying.
I completely misparsed everything you said up here, so.
Okay, so Nathaniel is supposed to be Greg's friend.
Okay. Well, I'll reconstitute it. Give me a sec.
All right. Yeah, known unrequited feelings. And is pretty obsessive about it.
Not in canon, he's not.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, thanks, hon. Ooh.
Hold on. Let me add some things to this sentence before I move on. Okay. There we go.
Yeah!
And like Greg was there when they called the phone and hired George. So
Yeah.
get dressed at least, take a shower, get some help, do something.
Gee, like, go to his friends about his problems? For support? WordPress, please. I would like to see what she typed. Ah.
She was an asshole.
Oh, sorry, I think I need that.
But it's like seeing that fucking rant she made, and I know I'm not really supposed to like put in like writers' real life shit here, but it's my sport, so cope. Seeing that fucking rant she made after someone that she considered a brother died because he wasn't smart enough to actually get help for his mental illness and addiction. Like, in that light, all of this changes.
Yeah.
I can't believe you hit on Trent of all people.
And now he's slut shaming and victim blaming.
Well, the thing is that Nathaniel doesn't even know he hit on Trent.
Right. Greg's taking George's word for it. George's.
Yeah, I know. Let me change it when this catches up, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Whether Nathaniel believed George or not, Greg knew enough about the man to know he would. No, you don't know dick about George. I think they went to. Okay, I know you have to sign off. I'll send you what I have. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Love you.
Love you too.
It was delicious.